Hi everyone, I just got back from holiday and now that the edit is locked on Playdate, they don't need me anymore. Well, I mean they do, but not in the same way, not on a daily basis. It's now up to the digital special effects to get involved, and this is a slow-paced moment. They work on their own and they send me the shots or bits of shots for me to approve. Then the color grading will take over, and it's almost the same. It's a slow process for which I totally trust my DOP. I know Martin is the OCD kind, and he's not going to let it go until it's perfect and looks exactly like what we envisioned and talked about for the past 6 months. Add to that, and I shouldn't say it, but that I find the color grading process extremely boring. But I'll be back for the final moment, the sound mix, and I'll tell you more about it when I'm there. So yeah, I always try to take a holiday in between the end of the editing and the sound mix, for all the reasons I just told you about. But mainly to get the movie out of my system, so when I come back for the final moment, I have a totally fresh look. And also because usually at that point, I'm totally exhausted. Also because it's the right time to start working on future projects. Shh. But I'll tell you more about that in the next vids. So I thought that as a conclusion for this new vlog series, I'd go beyond my last project and talk about the only thing I like to talk about, movie history. It comes second after my children and my wife, but that's private, you know. So yeah, I wanted to tell you about how directors think, big directors. And for that, I've gathered 10 quotes of some of my favorite directors. 10 quotes that cover the job from the way they think of it to the way they do it. It doesn't mean that I agree with them or that you should. But it sums up quite well the way the job goes and the way it's done. So let's get into it. For this first one, I have to admit I'm cheating. This is not a quote from a film director, but from a playwright. But it is so important and so good, it had to be in there. And they do. Most people talk all the time about the ideas they have, things they want to do, or projects they're working on, especially in this business. But in the end, very few go through. So if an idea is good, it's good. Period. Whether it's yours or not. What Brecht says does not mean you can steal ideas from others. It means that all ideas are everyone's until they become something real. The idea itself is not enough. It's what you put into it that makes it yours. Your will, your energy, your vision, anything that helps you making it real. That's what makes an idea yours. Now this guy is one of my favorite directors, and he directed some of the most important movies for my generation. Movies like Top Gun, True Romance, The Last Boy Scout, Men on Fire, Spy Game. And I could keep going and going and going since he directed something like, I think, 31, 32 movies. Tony Scott jumped off a bridge after learning he had a brain tumor in 2012. He didn't want to see himself degrading. He was an impulsive and provocative director. He never thought of himself as an artist, but as a movie maker. This quote from him is obviously a provocation. Tony Scott stole from all directors, but he always tweaked and bent and mixed and interpreted what he stole for that in the end what was left was purely his. There are not that many movie directors in movie history who have approached so many different genres, styles and formats, and who have produced so many game changers over the course of their career. Now this is interesting because Jarmusch is a real author. He's one of the most known and prolific independent directors of the American cinema. This quote from him is a continuity of Tony Scott's. It's true that from the wall painting of the caveman to Picasso, we haven't invented much. Cinema is about 100 years old, and we're already remaking and rebooting ideas and stories because originality is extremely rare, if it exists. But authenticity, that's something else. The ability to create something new comes from its own truthfulness, whether it is you who are being true or its meaning. Now this one's hard to argue with. There are 24 pictures every second in a film. And still pictures don't lie. They photograph an instant, a moment, and altogether they become a story. Actors are there doing their thing on a set, and each of these 24 frames is a story, a moment, captured as a whole, a pure moment of truth. But on the other hand, and that's hard to argue with too. In film, everything is fake. The actors are acting with makeup on, lit by artificial light on a built set, and they are edited and post-produced with sometimes incredible special effects. So yeah, cinema lies all the time. So who's right? Godard or De Palma? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Now this truly is unarguable. You can't make movies by yourself. You need to gather a crazy amount of different crafts and skills to create a film. That's why maybe it is hard to consider filmmakers as true artists. A filmmaker conveys a story to its fulfillment through many different vectors, through an ensemble of people and means. Now this is totally arguable. Does making a movie has to be hard for you or anyone else? Fincher will say you don't obtain anything with being nice, when Spielberg will probably say the opposite. On the other hand, movies like Apocalypse Now or Jaws were created in the worst conditions imaginable. When you have to direct such an ensemble, can you do it without friction? Really? I find this one to be particularly true. You will never know what your film is about until you reach the edit room. Because once you're in there, everything can change. There will be 1,000 different stories that can be told with the exact same material. This is the moment where you choose the true shape and language of a film. Oh yeah, oh yeah, that's true. You are not entitled to anything when it comes to filmmaking. And it comes down to the simplest of things. Your title, for example. You are not a director or a producer because you say so. You are because others say it, because your peers say it. In cinema, more than anywhere else, you must earn everything, from a good performance of the actors to how you define yourself. Now, I kept this one for last because I keep coming back to it over and over again. As a director, in the end, everything will always be your fault. The audience will never know how hard a shot was to obtain or a scene to put together. And it's the same with your producers and financiers because, as they say in Hollywood, you're only as good as your last movie. This quote is about your future as a creative. If you let anyone else make decisions for you, you are taking big risks. Because whatever happens, whatever comes out of your shoot, if it's bad, you will get all the blame. Not the actors, not the producers, not the crew, you and only you. So to make sure not to have any regrets of any kind, make sure all the decisions are yours. From the casting to the color of a wallpaper and the background of a shot. Now, as you can imagine, there are thousands and thousands of quotes of filmmakers, and they often contradict each other. Now, these are the ones I like the most and that often help me. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you think they're stupid? What's your favorite director quote? And as usual, like, subscribe, hit the bell thing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.